Hello guys, Greg back for another video. On the channel it is all killer, no filler. So today I'm doing a quick fire review on a fragrance that I only picked up a couple of days ago. Normally I like to wear things for a good few weeks before I put a review out, so this is more of an early impressions video really. So the one I'm going to talk about today is from the house of Penhaligons. It's from their portraits collection, and as you can see it's called the Blazing Mr. Sam. Penhaligons is a very old British niche house, and the portraits collection is kind of their higher end line, so it's almost a niche within a niche. There's 13 fragrances currently in the portraits collection. I've got a few of the others in the background there, all released between 2016 and 2018 on the expensive side. So this 75ml bottle was £188, so pretty expensive. Now the idea behind these fragrances is that each perfume is based on a member of a fictional family, and they've all of the perfume names have one of the character traits of the actual fictional character within it. Excuse me. So there's some similarities between, with imaginary authors who have fragrances that are inspired by fictional characters, and that's what they're doing here. Now I've printed out the marketing for the description and explanation of this range from Penhaligons. I will whiz through it quickly, but it is quite interesting. Well, I think it is anyway, and it kind of describes the idea behind the range. So what it says is, the collection is a tribute to the aristocratic English spirit that embodies the idea of establishment, humour and provocation. Somewhere in the rolling hills of the English countryside, nestled under a majestic canopy of oaks, the sun is gently rising over a country mansion. 2 or 3 domestic servants are arduously at work, drawing baths, opening curtains, lighting fires, and viciously beating carpets in preparation for the first family gathering of the day. So that's what it says, and the fictional character behind the Blazing Mr. Sam, or rather the inspiration, is described by Penhaligons as being an American in London who spends freely, lives fast, and talks loudly. And although this is based on that type of character and it's marketed towards men, it's definitely a unisex fragrance in my opinion. Before we talk about the fragrance, I'll just let you have a quick look at the presentation. I won't describe it to you, you can see it for yourselves. It's very cool. All of them have these very cool lids. Really like the colour of the juice in this one. These lids are big, strong metal lids. So the presentation is pretty cool. So what do I get from this one? Essentially, there's 2 key notes in this fragrance, tobacco and vanilla. At the start of the fragrance, what you're going to get is a lot of spiciness, and I describe it as being mainly warm spices, but there's also some milder, what I'd call cooler spices in there. And for the most part, the spice in here is sweet. There's a lot of cinnamon in here, but there's also cumin, which gives a bit of contrast. Cumin gives it like a bitter, sour type of spice as well. But as I said, the main notes in here that run through it are tobacco and vanilla. Also, from the very first spray, I'll get quite a bit of musk from this fragrance as well. And what I'd say about this one is that everything in here is very warming and comforting. There's a very warming, comforting tobacco, a very warm vanilla note in here. When you're describing a fragrance and saying tobacco, there's so many different types of tobacco, tobacco leaf, pipe tobacco, and just different variations on each. And it's hard to describe, but I would say in a similar use of tobacco would be in a fragrance like Parfum de Marly Herod. And what this tobacco in here reminds me of is, when I was a kid, we used to get these tobacco papers, like brown tobacco papers, and we used to lick them and sniff them. I don't even know if they still exist, but that is the kind of sweet tobacco type of smell that I get from this fragrance. When you get into the base of this one, the tobacco and the vanilla, and especially the cinnamon as well, last throughout, but you also get a bit of cedar comes in, which just gives a little bit of development, because it is quite a linear scent, which isn't always a bad thing, but the cedar comes in and it just gives a nice little contrast. In terms of occasions, this one is definitely more of an upscale fragrance, very clarty smelling, not one that you'd just throw on casually, I don't think. Works very well in an office setting. Probably go easy on the trigger because it could be quite a cloying one, but definitely would work well as an everyday office type of scent, although obviously it's very expensive for that type of use. Performance on this one is very, very good. Excellent sillage, very good projection, lasts all day. Unusual for a Penhaligon's fragrance. They tend to be quite light, but I'm very impressed with the performance on this one. Price and availability. Well, price is where it falls down because, as I mentioned before, it's £188 for a 75ml bottle, which I think is an awful lot for what this fragrance offers you. In terms of availability, Penhaligon's website in the UK, and then the higher end department stores like Selfridges, Fortnum & Mason, Harrods, places like that. So final thoughts and rating on this one. For the few days that I've had it, a very pleasant fragrance, but nothing special, nothing groundbreaking. It's a tobacco vanilla fragrance, very nice, but it's way overpriced in my opinion. If it was cheaper, I'd give it a higher mark because it does smell good, but £188 for 75ml is way too much. So taking that and everything else into consideration, the Blazing Mr. Sam is going to get a 6 out of 10 from me. So there you go, guys. That's another quick fire review, the Blazing Mr. Sam from Penhaligon's Portraits collection. Thanks a lot for watching. Please do all of the usual stuff. Subscribe to our channel if you're not already. Thumbs up, click the little bell, all that boring stuff. Remember, you can purchase this fragrance, all the ones behind it, and around 500 others from my online store, which is fragrancesamplesuk.com. If you're outside of the UK, you can't order from the website, but you can email us to arrange orders. That email address is info@fragrancesamplesuk.com. Both of those addresses are in the video description below. Within a couple of weeks, we'll be launching our new European shipping service directly from the website to most European countries. So keep an eye out for that. That will mean that you can order directly without sending us an email if you're in Europe. So thanks again, guys, for listening, for watching. Do appreciate it. I'll see you all soon with another video. Cheers.